Hey everyone, and welcome back. In this video, I'll break down exactly how to tackle multiple choice questions in the IELTS reading so you can avoid common traps and boost your score. So let's get started. In IELTS reading, a multiple choice question, which may allow for either one or two answers, is one of many question types, and it appears in both the academic and general training tests. For all reading questions, we basically need to compare the statements with the passage, so it's important to know that the correct option will always match the meaning in the passage exactly, but it might not use exactly the same words, which means the meaning will often be paraphrased or synonyms could be used instead. In any case, let's first begin with understanding the three biggest traps students face. First, a common trap is the use of distractors by the test authors. Distractors are answers that copy part of the statement or question, but change the meaning or refer to an unrelated topic. Second, scanning for keywords only. If you just match words without reading the sentence, you could easily pick the wrong answer. Here's the method I recommend. Step 1. Read the instructions and each question carefully before you even look at the options. Consider if the question is asking for a reason, a fact, an opinion, or an example. Then choose keywords in the question. Step 2. Read the options quickly. Step 3. Scan the passage for keywords from the question. Then, in Step 4, once you think that you've found the location of the same or similar keywords from the question, then read that section carefully for meaning. Ask yourself, which option best suits this sentence? Next, you want to go back to the options and eliminate completely wrong options. These will include options that contradict the passage, add extra information not given in the passage, or does not fully include the same meaning as the passage. And finally, in Step 6, choose the best answer. It's important to remember that the best answer must exactly match the meaning of the sentence that you found when you completed Step 4. Let's try an example. On your screen now, you've got a question and it has 4 options. The instructions say we should choose the correct letter A, B, C, or D, which means we must only choose one option. Looking at the question, it reads, what was the whale oil primarily used for in the past? Option A says clothing production, B says lighting and industrial purposes, C says shipbuilding, and D says medicine. Now I'd like you to pause this video and consider if the question is asking for a reason, a fact, an opinion, or an example. Now select keywords. Next, quickly read through the options A to D. Then, scan the passage on the right for similar keywords in the same area. It's important to understand that all your keywords or similar meaning words must be in the same area. That is to say, you are looking at the wrong section if your keywords are too spread out. Generally, the same keywords or similar meaning words should either be in the same line or sentence, or possibly in one sentence before or after it. They are never too spread out. At this point, pause this video and compare the passage to find a section using your keywords. Did you find the section? Now read that area to understand it. Is the meaning of this section helpful for us to answer the question? Does it provide a reason, a fact, an opinion, or an example? In this question, it should be a fact. In this step, eliminate all options from A to D that are not related to the question or doesn't relate to a fact. Finally, choose the best answer that matches the option the most. Looking at the options, A says clothing production, B says lighting and industrial purposes, C says shipbuilding, and D says medicine. In the text, the passage doesn't mention whale oil being used for clothing, so A cannot be the correct answer since it is unrelated. As for C, shipbuilding can indeed involve wood, metal, and other materials, But whale oil was not mentioned in this passage as construction material, so C is incorrect. Looking at D, medicine isn't mentioned at all as a use for whale oil in the passage. So only B, lighting and industrial purposes, matches exactly as the section says. Whale oil was used for lighting and lubrication purposes. Take note that it's normal that the passage has more information than the option. So, whale oil, which was used for lighting, lubrication, and various industrial purposes, is still correct. At this point, I'd like to talk about some extra tips. First, I really do recommend watching for absolute words like always, never, only, and completely. If the passage doesn't fully support them, they're usually wrong. Also, you should be wary of partially correct options. If it's half right, but has other information which is not in the passage, then it's wrong. Don't panic if you don't know straight away. Instead, use elimination to narrow down your options. Don't get stuck. If you can't decide, move on and come back later on. Finally, test writers love to paraphrase. For example, increased rapidly might become grown quickly. So remember that the correct option is rarely word for word, even though one or two keywords would likely be exactly the same. Before we end our lesson, let's do one more quick example. Look at the question. What does the author suggest about whale watching? The word suggest means we're talking about an opinion that might not be directly expressed. Now pause the video and read through the question, and then choose your keywords. Suggest and whale watching are good quality keywords. Now skim read the options from A to D. Skim read means to review written text quickly to understand the main point. Pause the video again, and then scan the passage for keywords from the question. Did you find the section with keywords from the question? If yes, skim read that section. Then compare this section to the options by eliminating any option that does not contain keywords from it. Now choose the option which best suits the section in the passage. Alright, let's review this question. The question wants to know what the author suggests. Let's look at the options. A says whale watching is less profitable than whale hunting. B says it has replaced whale hunting as a source of income. C says it threatens whale populations. And D says it has no economic benefit for coastal communities. Now the passage tells us whale watching actually brings in more income and doesn't harm whales. So A is eliminated because the text says that it brings in more income, which is opposite to the meaning less profitable. C is eliminated because no information is mentioned about it. And D is eliminated since the section also provides opposite information, as it says there are economic benefits. That leaves us with B. Whale watching replaced hunting as a source of income. And this is proven by the sentence that reads, whale watching tourism brings more income to coastal communities than whale hunting ever did. That brings us to the end of today's short lesson. If you'd like to receive short tutorial clips on other IELTS questions, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for joining.